something in the ice. We need some help down here. Can anybody hear me? We found something. We found something. We found something.
12 men have just discovered something. For 100,000 years, it was buried in the snow and ice. Now it has found a place to live. Inside. Where no one can see it, or hear it, or feel it.
I know I'm human. Some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
You guys gonna listen to Gary? We can beat one of those things!
Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek. Hope you can hear me. I better check, Hunter. I better make sure we are live. I've got to check on my phone because, you know, that's the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to do that because I still don't trust me setting things up. So I've got to double check things just to make sure. Right, where are we? Put my volume up. See if we're going. Come on, scroll, you stupid thing. There we go. Come on, play. Hello. Yes, we're going because it's me saying scroll, you stupid thing. I need a new phone. I do. Right, anyway, so welcome to the show. Got a comment already. Huzzah. Windgrace says it's working for me. Yes, from why he says because he's feeling French. Monsieur Windglass. And Joshua's here as well. Hang on, we'll show you these. There we go. Windgrace, it's working for me. And Joshua says, howdy, folks. Howdy, Joshua. Right, as you saw from the trailer, we're doing The Thing. The original, well, not the original. The original's from 1951, isn't it? Is it 51 or 54? Whatever. From the 50s. This is the John Carpenter's The Thing. Classic film. So that's what we're going to do. Just let me sort this out. Get rid of that. Don't need that anymore. And I'm just sorting things out in the background. Don't mind me. Right. That'll probably still not work. Right, The Thing. As everybody knows, this was directed by John Carpenter. Came out in 1982. A stellar year for cinema. Star Trek 2 and loads of other stuff. E.T., The Thing, Poltergeist. Oh, loads of films came out in 82, didn't they? And it starred Kurt Russell. I think it was the film one of what he called his Apocalypse trilogy, John Carpenter. Yes, Joshua, a rare case of a remake surpassing the original. Yeah, because the original's, you know, it's okay, but it's not amazing, is it really? I've watched it a few times. And to be honest, it's a bit boring in places. But you can't say this one's boring. It's a true classic. Where were we? Directed by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell and many others. Wilfred Brimley, who I think wasn't that old when he made this, but he's always looked old, hasn't he? Keith David as Childs. By the way, Wilfred Brimley as Blair. Keith David as Childs. Richard Mesa as Clark. T.K. Carter as Knowles. David Clennant as Parker. Richard Dysart as Copper. Charles Hallahan as Norris. Peter Maloney as Bennings. Donald Moffat as Gary. Joel Polis as Fuchs, and Thomas G. Waits as Windows. And a couple of Norwegian fellas. One of them who is Larry Franco, famous producer and director. So that's your cast. Let's say it's an all-male cast. You wouldn't see that today, would you? Well, you didn't, did you? When they did The Thing in 2011, and they did the prequel that turned out to be like a remake, but it was a prequel. But it was okay. It wasn't too bad. A shame about the effects. They had to stick a few women in that, didn't they? But anyway. What else? If you want to learn about the making of, I've put a link in the description for I forgot to call it now. The making of The Thing. I forgot to call it. But there's a making of on YouTube. It came on the DVD and the Blu-ray, like the making of The Thing. I forgot to call it now. It's got a thing pun in the title. But that's a classic, like an hour and a half. It's one of my favourite making of films. But it's a real, a cool making of. It tells you all about it. So, right. So, before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell, join me in the live chat. I'm also live on Rumble and Twitch. Yay! What else? And later on tonight, I'll be on Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But don't send me any messages now because I'm busy doing this. Links are in the description, as are the links for my 2 books. Oh dear, there we go. Silent Predator, a short horror novella about big cats. Because I'm a prophet, aren't I, Windgrace? I can see the future. Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff. They're on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback. Don't expect much. It's only me. I'm no Stephen King or Isaac Asimov, etc. I'm just little old me having fun with words. Right, let's get this film up, shall we? Let's get this film up and we'll go through it. Obviously, as I always say, I'm not going to just play the film because we'll get into trouble. By the way, check the streaming. We're all right. I did get a message because I played the trailer. I did get a message saying detected copyright material because I played the trailer. But everything seems fine now. And yes, we're going on Rumble. That seems okay. Nobody's saying anything in the chat on Rumble because I've probably got nobody watching. Oh no, 4 watching. And I'm going on Twitter, not Twitter, Twitch, that one. But if anybody does anything in that for the chat or whatever, don't ask me because I've no idea where it is because Twitch baffles me. Anyway, right, let's get the film. Hopefully, Windgrace says, hang on, I can put the messages up here, can't I? Hopefully you're a prophet with some profit. No chance. No chance. No chance. I'm calling myself a prophet because earlier on in the week I did a news story about big cats in the UK. Apparently they found DNA evidence that proves that we've got big cats roaming about the English countryside. And that's what me Silent Predator's about. But it's been it's been in the news for donkey's years in the UK, sightings and stuff. Right, let's get this film up. Add to stream. There we go. Hang on, I've done the wrong thing, haven't I? That one. There we go. Right, so let's see what happens when I press a button on here. Ba-dum-ba-dum. You're going to start playing. There we go. It's come on. Press pause. Hey dear. Right, off we go. So I'm playing this through a different player. By the way, I do have physical copies of this, DVDs and Blu-rays and all sorts. They're over there. But I'm playing this through a video player. I'm trying VLC player this week, and I've got to remember the controls. So off we go. Right, is it working? How are we going? Oh, man, Russell, there we go. Trying Kurt Russell. Ennio Morricone did the music. I think mostly though it's John Carpenter. To be honest, a lot of the music is very John Carpenter-y. I think he did some themes and stuff, but don't quote me on that. Todd Ramsey, the great Rob Bottin, who ended up in hospital after doing this film because for the overwork. But there's also some effects work by Stan Winston, one of his early outings. He came in to help during a what they call it, an overload time, and he did the creature that the dogs. He did one of the creatures when the dogs to get attacked by the thing. They do one of those things. We'll get to that. John Lloyd, Dean Cundy, who's gone on to great things now. There we go, Larry Franco, who we will see shortly. The screenplay by Bill Lancaster, the son of Burt Lancaster. I'm not lying, he is. There we go, directed by John Carpenter. And here we see the ship approaching. There it is. It's obviously a practical effect. It was a ship. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. Whatever. It was obviously a practical ship, and it was actually quite big. If you watch the making of, it shows that built by I forgot the name now. Is it might be Susan Turner? That name rings a bell, but I might be wrong. And some other fella, and that's they did that, and it was done. We had little lights in it that were spun around and stuff. And that's it's cool, and you see it for like 5 seconds, if that. Anyway, an alien ship approaches Earth. This is obviously thousands of years ago, and then we can see the Antarctic Peninsula there. So that's where it's going to crash. And it goes entering the atmosphere. Practical ships are the best ships. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Here it goes. There we go. John Carpenter's, and then this is a recreation of the original opening titles, probably done the same way. Done with the thing cut out in black card, and then bin liners, bin bags put over it, and then set alight and burnt away. That's what does that effect. With the light shining through, obviously, and the smoke tank or whatever. There we go. Off we go. Antarctica, winter 1982. So we start off. I think a lot of this were filmed in British Columbia, by the way, on a glacier up in British Columbia. So a helicopter appears over this ridge. I don't know how this. It's chasing a dog. I don't know how the dog's got over there, but it has. Maybe there's a crevasse that came through. And here we go. So we see these chaps in a helicopter chasing a dog. Here they are. With Norge on the side of it. Of the dog. That's I forgot the name of it now. There it is. Its real name. Is it Jed? I think it's Jed. He's like half wolf, half husky or something like that in real life. But anyway, it stops and has a look and then sets off again. Pot shots at it is this pilot. I think that's Larry Franco. Could be wrong. Maybe the other fella is. Oh, hello, DJ. Hang on. Where are we now? Let's see. When I saw this in 1982, I was 16 years old. It scared the crap out of me. I first saw it on VHS. It appeared in a we had rental stores back then. So it'll have been about 82 or 83, probably 1983 I saw it, or 84 when I first saw it. And how old were in 84? We'll say 84. I was 17 in 84. So about the same age as you, DJ, or thereabouts. Anyway, I was 15 in 1982. Right, where were we? So they're taking pot shots at this dog. And missing. So it's not a very good shot. Maybe it'd help if he didn't have little slits for eyes. But anyway. Right, so they're at United States National Science Institute Station 4. And there it is. As I said, built on a glacier up in British Columbia. And apparently to the left of this shot here, they're all trees, and they're to put some stuff up so you couldn't see them in certain angles. Because there's not many trees in Antarctica. But anyway, so there's a view of who's this, and showing the people, doing. I don't even know what they're doing. What do they do here? Are these just like the winter staff, like a caretaker staff, and then during the summer, spring and summer, like all the proper scientists will come. I don't know, but they don't seem very scientific. A lot of these people, one or two of them are, but I don't know. Right, we see Mac McCready, Kurt Russell playing chess against the computer. The computer voice is Adrian Barbeau. I think at the time she might have been the wife of John Carpenter. But Kurt Russell calls her a cheating bitch and destroys his chess wizard because he loses. There you go. Your move, bishop's knight 4. Knight to rook 3. Poor baby, you're starting to lose it, aren't you? And then she does a move and he doesn't like it. Says checkmate. He calls her a cheating bitch. And pauses drinking to her, thus destroying the chessmate. Sore loser. Right, the dogs arrived. Still shooting at it. What was that? What was that then? Did you see that? Didn't go back. Oh. That UFOs up there? Or is it just some weird stuff on the film that I've just caught? But circles round and then comes into land. There you go. Matt comes out of his shack. His goggles on. We're circling the camp. Oh, they starts throwing grenades. Hang on. What was they did the Fathom event for the 40th anniversary last summer. All right, cool. Because Joshua said, I would love to see this on today's screens with today's sound systems. Yeah, it'd be cool. But Joshua didn't see it at the Fathom event. I've never been to a Fathom event. I don't go to the cinema very often. I don't get a chance these days. Anyway, so there we go. Anyway, so what we're doing? They're throwing grenades at hang on, the dog now. See if we catch one. By the way, apparently that bit there, where you see the helicopter, if I can just play it there. That was nearly a disaster, I think. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere, that he misjudged his approach and didn't realise he was so low and had to pull up the helicopter quickly, because of all the snow and stuff. He misjudged his altitude slightly. That's what I read anyway. Right, it's landed. They all come running out. I think my son's arrived. Are you there?
Yeah, I didn't want to disturb you.
Well, you're going to just stand at the bottom of the steps for an hour and a half.
Yes.
Oh, go on.
Not really.
Garper.
I'm coming down carefully so I don't interrupt you.
I don't know. Well, it's too late now because you have. Oh, dear. Well, anyway, the dog runs up to him. There we go. It's being all friendly and nice and passing on its alien slaver to whoever that is. I can't make it out. But the helicopter pilot, or the chap in the helicopter, Larry Franco, maybe, I don't know, takes one of his grenades out and then drops it because he's an idiot, and then blows the helicopter up as he runs away. The other fella's scrabbling about in the snow for the grenade, and up it goes. Boom. Could you see that? Yes, you could. Right. Oh, heck. Then he starts shouting in Norwegian. And I looked it up on YouTube and I've forgotten what he says. But basically he's saying it's not a dog, it's a thing, it's an alien creature, it will kill you all, or something along them lines. That's what he's saying in Norwegian. Then he starts shooting, shoots Bennings in the leg. There we go. And the dog runs off and he's chasing after it, shooting it. And then Gary, Donald Moffat, who you may know from the TV series Logan's Run. He played Rom, the robot in Logan's Run. Anyway, he smashes the window. Mustn't be able to open it. He's just got to smash it. And a really good shot. Shoots him in the eye. The Norwegian fella. There you go. Down he goes. Dead. Does a little twitch as well. So give Bennings' bottle of J&B. There's Mac. Windows, I think it's Windows, comes out with a fire extinguisher. So there we go. Put the flames out, and then Speedy, it's Clark, comes to take care of the dog because he's the dog man. There we go. And Speedy utters the immortal line, "First goddamn week of winter." But not like that, like Kurt Russell. Right, Bennings is having his bullet wound sewn up by Dr. Copper, played by Richard Dicehart. And if you notice, let's see, yes, you can see it there. If you'll notice, I didn't notice this for years. I think until I got the Blu-ray, and then I really noticed it. He's got a nose ring. He's got a nose ring as Dr. Copper, because I think he was thinking maybe he was a bit of a hippie in the 60s and just had his nose pierced and just decided to keep it into his old age. But yes, he's got a nose ring. You can see it more prominently in other shots. But anyway, sewing his leg up. Suggesting that the Norwegians have gone crazy with cabin fever or whatever. Windows, hope I'm getting this right. It is Windows, isn't it? Yeah. Can't get through to anybody, apparently. Don't know why, but he can't. Trying to call them McMurdo Station, which is the big American, base in Antarctica. They can't get through to anybody. It says nobody's talked to anybody in this whole damn continent. And Wilfred Brimley says, but you've got to keep trying. So there we go. So they can't, but they're saying I can't. Knowles I think he's the cook. Is roller skating round. He says, maybe we're at war with Norway. And then we see the shot chap, the Norwegian. There's Palmer smoking a joint, and I was wondering when El Capitan was going to get a chance to use his pop gun. Good old Palmer. With his cool, denim waistcoat on. Sleeveless denim jacket. Windgrace says, it was clearly, presumably mean the dog, was trying to get to the Antarctic Gate, which was roughly in the same area. It's not far from McMurdo, is it? The Antarctic. This is for Stargate fans, by the way. There's a Stargate in Antarctica, or there was, which were found by Jack O'Neill and Sam Carter. But yeah, it was trying to get there to get off world, no doubt. Anyway, hang on. So, says how long have they been stationed there? And says, well, not too long. A long time for somebody to go that crazy. You're right, Ed.
No, I'm not.
Why? What's matter?
Princess is growling at midnight on windowsill.
Oh, she'll be fine.
And she hissed at her as well.
Well, she will. She's fine.
I've come to warn you, that's all.
All right, she's fine.
It's like midnight wants feeding.
Well, I'll do it later when I've done with this.
You better hurry then before Princess starts attacking the window.
She won't attack the window. She'll just ignore it. Live telly, eh? Well, it said it'd take a long time for somebody to go that crazy, and Noel says, "Bullshit, man." Palmer was like he is on the first day, or something along them lines. So, 5 minutes is enough to put a man over down here. And look at Palmer; he's been the way he is since the first day. So you can see that they're all, bit of banter. That's what we're having, bit of banter. So they started with 10. There'd be 8 others left. I presume they must know about the nearby bases and who's on them and all that stuff. So anyway, anyway, sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments. Talking about Fathom events. I've never been to one. Joshua went to one the Wizard of Oz with his daughter. And Windgrace has been to see the Wrath of Khan at a Fathom event. So I'm just jealous of all of you. Right. You know what, Ed?
I won't leave door open in case Princess shows aggression at midnight.
Oh, she's fine. She won't. She'll be fine.
Oh, leave the door open anyway.
All right. Okay. Right. Whatever. Hey, what I have to put up with. Anyway, where are we? So what were I saying? Oh yeah, I presume they've got files on all the nearby bases and how many personnel are there and where they are and all that. For safety, I suppose, in emergencies. Copper says he wants to go and check them out, and Bennings says Bennings must be the weatherman. Says the winds are going to ease up a tad in the next couple of hours. But he still wants to get there, hour there, hour back. And Palmer, who must be the other helicopter pilot apart from McCready, he says, shit, Doc, I'll take you. He says, forget it, Palmer. So, thanks for, there you go. Thanks for thinking about it, though. There you go. So it goes out to Mac and explains to him that he wants to go over to the Norwegian camp. So there we go. Looks at the weather. It tells him they're taking a chance. If they get a whiteout, they'll be lost and all that. Obviously, no flying on instruments. But anyway, they go out to the base. So there we go. So off they go. So we'll skip past all this. And then we see the dog. There he is, the dog. Jed, the wolf dog. I think it's Jed. Was it Jeb? I can't remember. So off they go to the Norwegian base. And there's supposed to be a Russian base as well, isn't there? In the prequel, said there were a Russian base that Mary Elizabeth Winstead headed towards. Is that closer to the Russian base than the American base? I don't know, but that was 50 miles away. Don't know how far away. An hour there, an hour back, and how fast do helicopters go? 100 miles an hour? I don't know. I've no idea. So it must be 100 miles away then. So yeah, it must be. The Russian base must be closer to the Norwegian base. Anyways, there's the dog again. All right. So here we're hearing music. I think it's Stevie Wonder, Superstition. I think it's Stevie Wonder playing. It's Knowles' music, and it's upsetting Benning. So he gets on the intercom and says, "Can you turn that down? Being shot today." There we go. And he says, "Okay," and doesn't turn it down. Off they go. Off he goes doing his stuff. And then I think we see the dog again, wandering about. Here it comes. Very well trained dog. Like I say, it goes to this door here and then looks around and then comes over here and sees somebody. Who is that? It isn't any of the cast, by the way. It's a mystery shadow. I think John Carpenter decided not to use any of the cast, so we couldn't identify who it was. So I don't know who it's supposed to be. It looks more like Clark, doesn't it? But we find out that it's not. So it's obviously turning whoever that is into an alien, a thing, probably. Anyway, so here we go, heading towards the Norwegian base. We see the smoke. This, by the way, I think is the American base. I think they filmed this after. They filmed this last. After they basically burnt down the American base at the end. Spoilers. Right, so the land and have a look round. And one good thing about the prequel that were made in 2011, there were some nice little nods to what we're seeing here. Like the axe in the wall and the fella that's slit his wrists. And they actually got an actor that looked like the fella that slit his wrists in this. There we go. So Mac comes in and says, "Hey, Sweden!" They're Norwegians, Mac. Because he said it earlier. You really want to save those crazy Swedes here, Doc? Norwegians. There we go. They're not Swedish, Mac. They're Norwegian. There we go. Looking round there, there's holes and all the snow and ice has got in. You know, what's gone on here? We've got an axe in the wall, a blood-soaked axe, no less. All sorts of carnage. Not many bodies, though. Not many bodies. Found some a blood trail. But it seems to lead to him, doesn't it? And I think in the prequel, I don't think he slit his wrists and then staggered and sat down in the chair. Well, I don't think he did. I could be wrong. It's a while since I've seen it. So he's found him in the chair, dead. And then he goes and finds. Oh, they're still looking at him. There you go. Yummy. Slit his wrist and his throat. Is this? I presume he's supposed to have done it his son because he's still got the cutthroat razor in his hand. There you go. And then Mac finds a big block of ice. We see in a moment. Oh my! Copper finds lots of notes, and they find a video player and tapes and stuff. So they decide to take it back. And Mac checks out the last few rooms and finds this big block of ice that had something in at some point. The accent's good today. Oh, they're not. They're not. They got one accent, and you're hearing it. So they found this. Obviously, the thing was in there. They found the thing frozen in ice. Obviously, it came out. Maybe they found a fossil, he says, and then they find whatever this is. The outside. They tried to burn it, and he says, "What is that in there? Is it a man?" They've tried to burn it, and they decided to take this back as well. I wouldn't take that. They said, let's get a shovel. Ugh. I won't be scooping all that lot up. So anyway, they decided to take all this back as well. Yuck. I wouldn't have done. Left it there for the head back. The dog's watching. It is. They open it all up and they're all gipping and it's horrible. And so the first creation of Rob Bottin we see in the film. I suppose he did the bullet wound on the eye as well. But the first creature, which is obviously, it's one of the things mid-transformation. Obviously they burnt it because that's the best way to kill them. But Blair's going to do an autopsy. So there we go. We'll have another look at it. It's human hands and human face and all that, and I say it's an amazing work of art. That's what it is. Wondering what's going on. The dog looking. Windows is asleep. Gary, he still can't get through to anybody. So Windows is not working. Microsoft joke. Anyway, they've done an autopsy on the pilot. No drugs, no alcohol, nothing. It was fine. There we go. So, I forgot his name now. Wilfred Brimley's character, Blair's cutting open this weird creature body and scooping out the insides, and he says it's all normal. I'll take your word for it, Wilfred. Dear. There you go. Heart, lungs, kidneys, liver. All gooey, horrible stuff. They've probably been to the butcher's. And he says it all appears to be normal. They're watching old. You Americans can tell me what this is because I've no idea. Some American game show. Is it The Price is Right or something? I don't know. No idea. No idea. But they said they've seen that one, so they'll go and find something else. Smoking joints. Because they're in Antarctica, so they're not going to get arrested, are they? And then I think the dog makes Bennings jump. There we go. As it walks, under the table, and tells Clark to put it in with the other dogs. That's what he does. Takes it down to where the other dogs are. This is a good bit of doggy acting here as the dog just walks in. It's cool. I'm going to play it. Let me see. It just walks in. All the other dogs are watching, and as it sits down, you can see its head stays perfectly, rock steady in position as its body goes down. It's cool. Animals are amazing, as we see here. Ed. Here we go. Head stayed perfectly rock solid as it settled down. Anyway, it starts breathing heavily when Clark sobs off. It's just sitting there watching the wall, and then it starts breathing heavily. And we see the first big effect scene of the film. There we go. The dog's face splits open, and it starts, transforming into whatever it's transforming into. There we go. And it starts attacking the other dogs, and all tentacles start coming out, and the dogs start trying to bite their way through the mesh. Don't know how they did that. They probably smeared it in dog food or something. I don't know. Or it's made of, treats or something. I don't know. Hang on. Joshua's educating me here now. That was Let's Make a Deal. Or was that some American game show? Okie dokie. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Right. But I bet you've never heard of Sale of the Century either, have you? We had that over here, and 3, 2, 1. Them sort of game shows. What else did we have? Winner Takes It All. That was another one we did. Another one we had with Jimmy Tarbuck, somebody you've never heard of. Anyway, so here we go. The dog's transforming into some weird alien creature, and look, spider-like legs are sprouting out of it. And in a minute, we're going to see the Stan Winston thing, the Stan Winston contribution. I don't think he might have done this one. I don't know, but I know he did one in a minute. I don't know what it's doing here. It starts squirting stuff at yes, Mr. and Mrs. That's another. That's yes, another one from my youth, Mr. and Mrs. With oh God, what was his name? Derek. I can't remember his name. Derek something or other. My favourite game show is Number One. I don't know. Is that German? Sounds like. Don't know. Anyway, the thing starts. We've got squirting something at these dogs. I've no idea what it is. Can't remember what it. Don't know what it is, but it doesn't do any harm. It's squirting them with some stuff. Clark comes in, hearing the noise from the dogs. Sees what's going on. Gets knocked down, and sees all the tentacles come out, and just to shut the door and lock it, and then Mac hears the noise of the dogs and just decides to set off the fire alarm. Have you heard of Sale of the Century? I've heard of Sale of the Century, Joshua says, but none of those others. Well, let's say we all have our own game shows, don't we, in various countries. I had another one as well. What was the other one? Name that tune. That were another one. And of course, Blankety Blank. Had that Blankety Blank, and we had one that in America it were called Hollywood Squares, but over here we called it Celebrity Squares, which were like British celebrities in in boxes. We had that. It's a similar thing. Number One is a recurring sketch in Mitchell and Webb look. It's a fictional television series which the two contestants call out seemingly random numbers. All right, okay, cool. Call My Bluff, says Otakar Kubi. Yes, I like Call My Bluff. Din 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 din. That was the theme for Call My Bluff. Honest, it was. With Frank. I can't remember the names of people. He used to do the adverts for Cadbury's Fruit and Nut. And it was hosted by Robert Robinson, or Robert Robertson. I think it was Robert Robertson, with his amazing comb-over hair. Frank Muir, that was it. Yes, Frank Muir. Anyway, enough of game shows. Let's get on with this film. I'll be here all night otherwise. Right, Max sets off the fire alarm. There we go. Here's the dogs. Sets off the fire alarm to get everybody alerted. So they come down. Got a shotgun. We don't see many, the shotgun's getting used very often, to be honest. Did it going to get a copyright strike? I don't think so. Over that rendition of the theme. So, yeah, because I'm that good. Anyway, there, Clark says, I don't know what the hell's in there, but it's weird and pissed off, whatever it is. Yeah, it is. They tell Childs to get the flamethrower because it's a horror film, and for some reason in the late 70s, early 80s, every horror film had to have a flamethrower for some weird reason. So he's off to get that. So they have a look in. There we go. This is the Stan Winston creature that Stan Winston Studios created. It's a puppet. There's a fella inside, and apparently, and doing all weird stuff. That's got getting the dogs and absorbing the dogs. So Max starts shooting them, putting them out of the misery. I'd be shooting the bloody alien thing as well. Never mind the dogs. But anyway, Clark tries to stop him, but then the alien thing. Two big hands come out, and it pulls itself up into the roof, or up towards the roof. Here we go, and then we can see, actually, you can see there's that dog claws, and there's a dog's head there, but then an eye opens here. We'll just play this a bit. An eye opens there, and then we see a weird thing made out of dog tongues. Apparently, it's going to come out in a minute. And it comes. There we go. That's apparently dog tongues. There we go. It's obviously just somebody doing that, isn't it? But dog tongue glove with dog teeth down there. That's what that is. Weird, definitely. So Childs tortures it with the flamethrower, and they immediately put it out. I'd let it burn a bit, but no, they put it out straight away. And they're all shocked at what's happened there. They don't know what's going on. What the heck just happened? So anyway, so Blair's doing his stuff now. Is this what they've just killed, or is this what they brought back from the Norwegian camp? I can't remember. No, this is what they've just burnt this, isn't it? This is what we're getting the dogs, yeah. So he's doing his autopsy, and I don't know what this is. See if we can find out now. He cuts it open, and then he goes like, "Oh God," isn't that? He's like, "Oh God," and he pulls all this skin back, and then we see this here, and I don't know what it is. Like, look, going, oh, what is it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Yeah, let's come back a bit. I don't know. Is it supposed to be like a weird, malformed human dog shape or something? I don't know. There's like a hint of teeth there in the nostril. Is that an eye? I've no idea. I don't know what it is, but it's obviously upsetting him because he's like going like that for some reason. But I don't know what it is. And I've never been able to figure it out in 40 odd years. So there, and it's it's that amazing. They do a fade to black. Right, so he's giving his report now with his rubber tip pencil that is going to be touching goo and then shoving it in his mouth. So that's obviously how he gets infected. Spoilers. There we go. You see, we're talking about here is an organism that imitates other life forms and imitates them perfectly. That's what he's doing. He's explaining it. He says, you know, that's not dog, that's dog imitation, etc. There you go. Touching it and then putting the bloody rubber to his mouth. Limb of some sort. I don't know, but it upset him, didn't it? Whatever it was, but it was, you know, it was like a random shape, wasn't it? I don't know. Oh, but there we go. See a bit of dog there. Is that a partly absorbed real dog, or is it an imitation dog that's not quite formed yet? I don't know. Yes, changelings ruin everything they do. Bloody changelings. But I'm trying to finish imitating these dogs. There we go. Oh, is that what he uncovered? Is it that is you know, taking the rest of the flesh off around? Well, is he teeth there, nostrils, and an eye? Yeah, it's like a malformed. Is it a dog or is it just an alien shape? I've no idea. No idea. Anyway, just make sure we're still going. Just make sure. Yes, excellent connection, it says there. And still going on Rumble, and we're still going on Twitch. Huzzah! Right, this is I forgot his name. God, Charles Hallahan. What's his character's name? Norris. There we go, Norris. Norris must be the vet. He must be the vet, must Norris. He's giving, you know, the dogs that are alive, giving them injections. The dogs that have survived, he's giving them injections. To make him better or what? I don't know what he's doing. No, it's not Norris. I'm lying. It's Blair. But must have been a passage of time. He's gone on to something else. He was asking Clark if he noticed anything about the dog, and he said no. And he said, you spent a lot of time with it. He said, what are you trying to say? He said, nothing. There you go. As we learn later, Clark is not infected with the alien creature thing. Blair is. Is he infected now? Don't know. But anyway, they're watching the videotapes now that they've brought back from the camp on their RCA TV. I used to have an RCA tablet. It was rubbish. So they've got lots of tapes to watch, and they find out they've been, you know, checking out an area near their camp, and they found something under the ice. There we go. It's like from the original. I think we found a flying saucer. And that's that. But they don't say it in this because they're Norwegian. They'll be going, that's what they'll be saying. Because that's fluent Norwegian. So they found some under the ice, and then they use thermal charges, whatever. Thermite charges, that's it. I would say thermal detonators then. Hey, Yoto. But no. So then they blow it up and to you know, get to it. And that's showing on the map where they are. Let's have a look. What's that pointing to? Is that where the Norwegian base is? What they're pointing to there then? Is that where the ship is? What's on the end of that arrow? I've no idea. Don't know. I'm rubbish at maps anyway. Right, so they're going to go check it out, and it says it's pretty nasty out, Mac. 35 knots. I don't care. I'm going anyway. So him and people, I can't remember, set off out. It's Norris. Him and Norris. I think there's somebody else. Go and find the spaceship. A cool map painting that we're going to see in a minute. Who's with them? child. I can't tell who it is. No, it ain't. It's Mark and Norris. It could be Charles. I don't know. I can't make it out. They've all got stuff on there. We've got a cool matte painting by Albert Whitlock, the great Albert Whitlock. These cool matte paintings. But there they are, looking at that. It's that cool of a matte painting. They even have lighting effects on it, look, as the clouds move over it. Cool. Matte paintings, the volume. Matte paintings. Oh, matte paintings are greater than the volume. Yes. Yes, they are. The volume's cool, like we see in The Mandalorian and that, but they're overusing it a bit now, aren't they? It's been a bit overused. But anyway, but yeah, can't beat a matte painting. You can't beat stop motion animation. I love a bit of stop motion. You know, everything's CG these days. Same with cartoons. I want to see some hand-drawn cartoons. Anyway, everything's got to be CG. Right, they're climbing down to there we go, to get into the ship. We see again not again. We see in the prequel, don't we? Before they blow it out of the ice. I don't think they actually go in, do they? In this, I don't think they do. They don't say they do. They just go down, have a look, and go back up again. They don't check out inside or anything, as far as I know. There you go. So they come back, and they see this square that's been cut out of the ice, where the thing was found. By the way, that was filmed in Los Angeles. They just did. I think all this is a matte painting. All this round here, and then there's just these actors on a little bit of white, some white sheeting or whatever, or fake snow that they just filmed, from a crane and just composited it in, comped it in. Right, so there we go. I think it is child, isn't it? And obviously they found something, but we saw that at the Norwegian camp, didn't we? So they're all smoking and wondering what happens. Thousands of years ago, it crashes. Yeah, because Norris had said the ice it were buried in were 100,000 years old at least. So, this thing, it crashes, this thing crawls out or is thrown out and is frozen in the ice. The Norwegians came along, thawed it out, and it killed them all. And Charles doesn't believe this voodoo bull poo. And then Palmer says, "Well, Charles, it happens all the time, man. They're falling out the skies like flies. Government knows all about it, right, Mac?" Then he does his chariots of the gods thing. They practically own South America. They taught the Incas everything they know. Another bit of fourth wall breaking here. If you notice here, Blair is sitting right up against the wall, or pretty close up to the wall. You see the wall there with the lamp. But then we get a shot of him from behind somehow. If we see it in a minute. They're looking at some, fragments. There we go. We've seen Blair from behind. Obviously, there's a wall here, isn't there? So a bit of fourth wall breaking. Hand-drawn stuff looks timeless. Even the best CG tends to age poorly after 5 years. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. It does. I think if you can have CG that kind of looks like hand-drawn. That ages a little bit better. Or you can have some CG that is like cartoon-like films like I don't know. I can't think of anything now. But they're not going for realism. Like that one about games, Wreck-It Ralph. That were a decent CG animated cartoon, I suppose. But anyway, whatever. So yes, again, they dig it up, they cart it back, it thaws out. Probably not in the best of moods. It says, "I don't know, I wasn't there." And then Knowles comes in and says, "Who's been throwing their dirty drawers in the kitchen trash?" So they are dirty, aren't they? Like a pair of my underpants. Oh dear. So there we go. So that's this is Max saying it's different than us. It's from outer space. He doesn't know. And Blair's not saying anything. He's just looking at the photo. I think he's infected. I think he's infected, but I think it's kind of slowly taking him over from within. That's what I think. What are we there? Let's have a look at this. The original Final Fantasy Spirits Within was pretty good. It was okay, yeah, it was okay. With Ming Na as the main character. Well, it had somebody else in, didn't it? Was it Steve Buscemi? I think he was in it as well, wasn't he? It's a good film, is that? And I like the theme song. Yeah, good that. I don't know if it's got to do with Final Fantasy, though. Anyway, because there were no, what to call them, Chocobos in it. But never mind. Not that I noticed. Anyway, as I said, I think Blair's infected now, and I think it's slowly taking him over from within. He's not letting on. That's just my... well, David Duchovny in it? Oh, right, I don't know. I'll take your word for it. There, another fade to black, But always fade into black on Wilfred Brimley, aren't they? But then, here we go now. We're on Blair's computer. Now, I've got my theory. This looks a bit advanced for 1982. This is showing Blair's program, showing how the thing absorbs creatures and then imitates them. There we go. So it's doing that. And they soon rattled that off, haven't they? But I think it's because he is now the thing. So he's got the thing's intelligence. And if you watch the prequel, when they get aboard the spaceship, there's like an alien display in the spaceship. It looks very similar to that. It looks very similar to that. Them graphics. That. In my opinion, I think that's what they were going for. But not Duchovny, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin. The head of the Film Actors Guild in Team America. And somebody who literally got away. No, I'll not say it. I'll not say it. Right, so we're finding out that there go probability that one or more team members may be infected by intruder organism. Well, he's thinking, well, I know because I'm already infected. I don't know what it said. Hang on. It's I can't remember. Is it 75% something? Yeah, there we go. This is the mother scene, isn't it, from Alien? James Woods was the villain. What? Oh, right. It's been a while since I've seen it. We've got it on DVD somewhere, but it's been a while since I've seen it. I did quite enjoy it. The animal ghosts from another planet. A bit weird. Never mind. Never mind. This is the mother scene in it from Alien. Where he's just asking the computer questions, because you can do that, can't you? You could in 1982. Just ask a computer a question and it'd answer you. Projection. If intruder organism reaches civilized areas, entire world population infected. 27,000 hours from first contact. Don't ask me how long 27,000 hours is. I've no idea. Shall we try and work it out? We'll see if we just type it into Google. 27,000 hours. Put to years. It's 3 years. Oh, there we go. That 27,000 hours is almost exactly 3 years. There we go. Thank you, Google. Because you can just type things into computers, like I've just said. And ask it questions. But that's now in the 21st century, not in 1982. Hey, I think that movie Spectral borrowed stuff from Spirits Within, says Joshua. Yes, it did, didn't it? It started like spooky stuff like that, didn't it? Or alien spirits or whatever. That was an early Netflix film, wasn't it? It was cool with that. And Wingray says, I always really liked Titan A, even though that movie ruined an entire company. Yeah, we're at Don Bluth's last film, the Don Bluth Company. Yeah, we'll go with Titan A. And a mixture of traditional animation and CG, wasn't it? Yeah, but a good film, Right, where were we? Hang on, wrong thing. There we go. Got a gun, look. He's got a gun in his drawer and some Tipex. Sorry, I don't know what you call it. You call it Tipex. Liquid paper. Max checking out the dirty drawers that's had the name tag ripped out. Drinking his J&B. Oh, there we go. Mac removing those things out of the lap. Oh, all right, they're moving the alien stuff white out. Is that what you call it? I don't know. We call it Tipex. They're moving the gooey alien stuff to another room out of the lab. So they want Mac to move his stuff out of the storeroom. So it'll be there. There's pondering over the drawers, the dirty drawers that were found in the kitchen trash. Are they Blair's? Don't know. But it probably shat his scent by the looks of it. But anyway, they're moving these into this storeroom. Well, there we go. That's what they're doing. Fuchs wants to talk to Mac in the thiacol. I think that's is it a snow cat or something, whatever he calls it, a thiacol. He has another look at the creature. There we go. We ought to just burn these things. Yes, they ought to. Just burnt it all, and then they're going on, directed by John Carpenter at the end. But they didn't. So anyway, that's gonna win somebody the Nobel Prize. Yeah. Or kill them all. There we go. We see it starting to go gooey again. Look. Oh no. Tentacles and stuff. There we go. Right, so Fuchs is talking to Mac in the thiacol. There they are. Okay, whatever. Tractor. And there we go. He's locked. Blair's locked himself in his room, won't answer the door, and so he's took one of his notebooks from the lab. This is where we find out that the creature's not the thing, it's not dead. There's still cellular activity. Yes, it would. That ending would have been truly unexpected ending from Carpenter. Yes, it would. And there we go. It could have imitated 1 million life forms and 1 million planets. Could change into any one of them at any time. Must have a good memory then. Now it wants life forms on Earth. It needs to be in close proximity with a life form to be absorbed. There we go. There's still cellular activity in these burnt remains. They're not dead yet. Dun, dun, dun. Should have put that in capital letters, shouldn't they? So basically, we find out that each part of this creature, is a living organism unto itself. And so there we go. That's how it can, change and stuff and infect people. There we go. So Windows comes in and sees Benning's clothes all covered, all ripped and covered in blood. And then I think he sees him in the corner being, there we go. It's going to look round now. See Benning's being absorbed. There he is. Giving it all that. I don't know if that's Benning's being absorbed or if it's the imitation Benning's, afterwards, being created. But either way, it's not good. So they're going to go and check on Blair. But then I think the alarm goes off and it's Benning's. So they go in. And I think Benning's has got dressed. We saw him there all. And he's found some clothes. And he's heading out into the snow. And then he just collapses. Because obviously he's mid-transformation. And they set off some flares around him. Near these barrels that have petrol in. Gasoline, I presume. And then they say, Bennings, you're all right, mate. And then gets up and we see he's got a funky hand. And then he just starts going, oh, in some alien, screaming. So Mac just tips, gasoline on him and sets the bugger on fire. There we go. So sets him on fire. And they just leave him, I think. To burn. And then Gary's saying, I've known Bennings for 10 years. And that wasn't Bennings, There we go. I've known him for 10 years. He's my friend. It wasn't Bennings. It was an alien creature. So they're going to gather up all the other stuff and burn it all. There we go. So that's what they're going to do there. But it's too late because, others have been infected. The screen borrowed from Puppet Masters, was it? Oh, right. I don't know. But they do that, don't they? They borrow sound effects and stuff from films. I think in the film The Changeling with George C. Scott, that the wind sound effect, when they open this door, like this wind sound effect, sounds like a TIE fighter. But anyway, so yeah, they do borrow sound effects. So here, there we go. So they're burning these, what's left. There we go. The old flamethrower. The trusty old flamethrower. So they've cleaned everything out. There's nothing left. Where's Blair? I think we're gonna have his little speech now. No, not yet. Can't find Blair. We're gonna go and check his shack, I think. Is it now or is that later? It might be later. Later is that? All right. Sees Blair. Blair's been in the helicopter. He's sabotaged it so they can't fly out. There we go. Goes to check it. Sees it's been smashed up. Either sabotaged it or he's been there for parts. We'll find out later. Yeah. But then I think he hears gunshots then, and he will go in. There we go. Don't you son of a bitch, you understand me? He's got a gun. Get back. And then I don't understand, to be honest, but if he's infected, we find out he is infected later on. That is destroying all the equipment, so the thing can't get away. But you think he'd be wanting to get away because he builds a spaceship or some sort of flying machine later on. There he goes with his axe, smashing all the equipment up. Later, after the deal where someone was framed, yeah, it is later anyway. He goes to check his shack, isn't it? Anyway, smashing his stuff up and then getting his gun out and going, "I'll kill you." Says that. Windows is there hurt, or they punched him or something. But they sort him out. They get a table and go and punch him in a minute. The thing wants to be us. If the cell gets out, it could imitate everything on the face of the earth. It's not going to stop. He's taking shots at him, and then he throws the gun because he's run out of bullets. Then Matt goes in with the table, and they punch him into unconsciousness. Blair, not Windows. Maybe he knew he was losing to the thing and decided to do what he could while he could. Yes, maybe that's so. Maybe, as I said, that I suspect he might have been being slowly changed from within. That's my theory. It sounds reasonable, I suppose, doesn't it? But anyway, so they tie him up. They put him in the like a shack. He's killed the dogs. Yes, I forgot about that. Blade killed the rest of the dogs with the axe, and so they shove him in tool shed or work shed or whatever. There we go. Don't want him in my shack. We'll lock him in the tool shed. Oh, in his shack, apart from a broken computer. So they're giving him obviously some sort of sedative. Don't know why he's there. And he tells Mac to watch Clark. He were alone with the dog for a long time. So they go watch Clark. I said, watch Clark. Watch him close. You hear me? I think we were on about we were about 49 or something when he made this film. So he's younger than I am now. Hey. That makes me feel old now. Anyway. Oh, what happens next? Right, so there's no radio because he smashed all that up. The helicopters, you know, out for the Fritz. Somebody in this camp isn't what it appears to be. You know, it's 10 little Indians or whatever. It's, you know, it's that one of these sort of things. It's like an Agatha Christie, isn't it? If it was an imitation, a perfect imitation, how would you know it was really me? And then I think it's when Copper, comes up with some sort of blood test. There we go, blood serum test. They've got all their blood, you know, on file, and then somebody gets to the blood and, you know, trashes all that. So they can't do that. There we go. All the blood's been knackered up. Apparently, the only person with the key is Copper and Gary, because Gary's the boss man. So he's public enemy number one at the moment. I think he's the thing. He's got the only key. And so I give it straight back. Anyway. He says, yes, it had worked, but then Windows freaks out and goes to get the rifles. They go after him. Go after him. Gary says, you know, I'll shoot you. So, but, you know, the situation is controlled. He puts it down. And then Gary gives up his gun. He says, I think it'd be better if somebody else was in charge. I think Childs goes for the gun. And Clark stops him with his knife. And Norris, they suggest Norris takes charge, but he says, no, I'm not up to it. There we go. So when Childs says, you know, he'll take the gun, but Mac is he kind of, you know, he's put in charge because he's more even tempered, which is the words he uses. Right, so they're burning the blood now, just in case that were infected. Is where he does a little speech. There's Macready says, I know I'm human. What's that? Wingray says, it's Matrock. I've no idea. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what that means. Says, I know I'm not infected, and I know some of you aren't infected, because if you all were, you'd just jump me now. So there we go. They just attack me right now. So some of you are still human. So it wants to hide inside an imitation, wait until spring or whatever, until the rescue or the relief comes or whatever. There's a storm coming. So they're going to decide what to do. There we go. Norris, you and Charles shoot them up with morphine. Fuchs, you start working on a new technique, you know, to work out, you know, who's human. They're the three people that are most likely to have been infected, as well as Blair. So they shoot them up with morphine to keep them docile. Funny, the guy that poured whiskey on his computer because he lost the game of chess is the most even. Yes, I know. Ironic. Anyway, so Mac's doing a tape recording, you know, a captain's log. It says nobody trusts each other, nobody trusts anybody. They're all very tired. You know, I think it rips through your clothes when it takes you over, obviously. Be anybody's, could the Long Johns. What he's doing there, and then I think we get a view from behind. It's always being watched, and then it's another fade to black. I think. There we go. A lot of fades to black in this film. Oh, there we go. There's a nice split diopter shot. I don't like split diopters. You know, where the lens, you know, you can focus on something in the background, something in the foreground at the same time. Used a lot in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I love that film, but he went mad with his split diopters. Did Robert Wise? But this is a good use of one. obviously you could see Fuchs in focus and Mac in focus, or just about. So obviously a split diopter there along that line there, but it's hidden in the shadows, which is what they're supposed to be. So there you go. Not that I'm a film expert, but anyway. So what's he saying? So he hasn't come up with anything yet, I don't think. It's like, there we go. He's saying a small particle of the thing is enough to take over an entire organism. You know, he doesn't know what to do, but he says everybody should prepare their own food and they should eat out of cans. So fair enough. Fair enough. And the lights flicker, and then I think somebody passes in front of the doorway. Here we go. He's got his light, candle, sorry. And I think somebody passes in front of the doorway. I forgot. Anyway, so who's that? So he goes out by himself, you know, idiot. And then he gets got. We don't see what happens to him, but obviously he gets got somehow. There you go. All right. It's found the McCready tag. So somebody's framing McCready. Everybody's seeing Fuchs. Go and look for him. You go, nobody trusts anybody anymore. So we're going to go out and find Fuchs. And they find what's left of him, all burnt. They go check on Blair. I think is this where he's got his noose. Yeah. Got his noose. He says, I'm all better now. I want to come back in with his noose. But little do we know, or they know, or little do we know at this point, is up to something down below, underneath the shack. Spoilers. He was eating out of his can, look. And he says it's not Fuchs, so he says, you know, he's not going to harm anybody. But anyway, so they leave him there. And they come back inside. And much better, but they lock him in. They find what's left of Fuchs. They find, you know, that a burnt body and some glasses. There we go. So it must be Fuchs because he's wearing glasses. And this is where he does his. Go inside, tell the others we found Fuchs, but he's going to check his shack because the light's on. When I left yesterday, I turned the lights off and they're on now. So somebody's been in his shack. Well, it's probably, you know, his computer's just all sparked and there's a fire. His computer's on fire. That's what it is. So they're going to check on that. And there's another passage of time. They're waiting for him to come back. There we go, 45 minutes. Here we see Norris having problems. See, obviously, spoilers. You know, everybody's seen this film. We know Norris is infected. Don't know how he got infected, but we know he is. But obviously, the thing that's copied him maybe a bit too well, maybe because I think Norris might have had a bit of a heart condition because he's a big chap, and he's obviously struggling. Anyway, they're blocking up the outside doors, and then Norris sees somebody. He goes hurting again. He's going to collapse in a minute. Anyway, it's Mac. I think no, it's Knowles. Sorry. There you go. He said they got separated from Mac, and I think he finds the something or other. There you go. He's found the incriminating evidence that Mac is the thing. There we go. I don't know what RJ stands for. Do we know what his name is in this? We just call him McCready. What does RJ stand for? I don't know. Does it matter? So he said he cut him loose and then came back in. So, but then Mac gets back in by himself. A storeroom window, I think. They're saying let him freeze. But he gets back in. They find him in this storeroom with some sticks of dynamite and a flare. Says if anybody messes with him, going to blow everybody up. So I'll calm him down. Oh, this is when Norris collapses. So they take him to there we go. take him to the lab or whatever, the med bay. I don't know. They deal with him. This is the famous defibrillator scene. It's amazing. We see Max got the flamethrower now, as well as his dynamite. Very good. Did anybody occur to the jury that anybody could have gotten some of my clothes? But I don't believe him. Anyway, so his heart stopped. They've got to use the defibrillator on him. We see Clark pick up a scalpel. This is the bit where there you go. Does the defibrillator on Norris. I'm going to do it again. So off he goes. Another good use of a split diopter, by the way. Another one here. With Clark with the scalpel there. Obviously, they're in focus as well. So it's obviously that line down there, isn't it? That is the blurry line. Anyway, whatever. And here we go. He's checking if he's going to do it again. And this is the famous chest scene. Clear. There we go. Cool. This is now go. Bites his arms off. And we see his nose ring again. Can you just make it out there? See his nose ring. And this scene, see it in a minute. Oh, I've missed it. Let's go back a bit. There we go. This they actually found this chap here that's playing Copper. It's not Richard Dysart now. Yes, hang on, put it there. Yes, one of the greatest moments in horror movies. It is. It's cool. This is an actor that has had his both of his arms, severed, as Rob Bottin says in the making of thing, in an industrial accident. He says it like we were gloating, so it's amazing. But so they used an amputee in this, and they use the face is like a mold of Richard Dysart they just put on. So it's only like for a few a second or so. Oh, press wrong button. It's for a second or so. There we go. Back to Richard Dysart. And then the most amazing shots I've ever seen. Not this. This thing pops up. It's not good, I must admit. It looks like I say, it's Norris's face, isn't it? But with like bagpipes. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Looks like bagpipes. Hang on, get rid of that. Obviously, it's supposed to be some sort of weird spider-like legs, I suppose, because it's pulled up onto this beam here. But it just reminds me of bagpipes. So it's like some Scottish monster. Anyway, there it is. So he burns it. There we go. This is it. I think this looks amazing. Not this bit, but the bit in a minute. As the head stretches off. I mean, that looks cool and stuff, but the head stretches off and comes off. There we go. And this bit here, I think this is amazing. It's all practical. It's all puppets and animatronics and stuff. It looks amazing. It just like this head just detaches itself, slides down this disc, and then it's on the floor in a minute. We'll skip ahead. It's still burning. There it is. It looks amazing. It's this head with a tentacle that's writhing about and grabs hold of a chair leg. Look, it looks awesome, and it's all practical. No CG. Cool. Film effects. It was probably done. Filmed in reverse, wasn't it? It was obviously attached to that, and then they jiggled it about until it unattached. But anyway, it does that. While they're all occupied watching the flames and the burning of the other. This thing is escaping. There we go. It pulls itself under this table or whatever it is. There you go, pulling itself under. Gets under, legs sprout out, and eyes on stalks. There we go. And, so they put out the fire. So I think they've sorted that out. Crikey. But then out comes Norris's head. Yes, the line coming up is perfect. See it scurrying off in the background. Here it comes. And then Palmer with his famous line. There we go. But why does he say something? I don't understand. 'Cause spoilers, Palmer, he's infected as well, as we find out shortly. So why didn't he just keep his gobshook? 'Cause nobody else saw it unless he'd said something. Never mind. But yeah, he says that. So then they burn that. He could have just not said anything, and it had toddled off. Because we know Palmer's infected. I don't think there's any other time that he could have become infected, between now and when we see him emerge. Right, so they're going to tie him up. Tie everybody up, I think. This is where Mac has his idea. That rather than a blood serum test, is going to just use blood from everybody and use a hot wire and do it in the blood. The thing keeps the brain on current persona until it has to reveal. Yeah, probably. Probably. Anyway. So he's going to do that. There we go, Clark saying, let's do what Max says. But really, remember, he's still got the scalpel. Childs is not good. Childs is not wanting to do what Max says. That would hard for to get out, wouldn't it? Not want to do what Max says. Max says, "Well, I'll shoot you," and Childs says, "All right, then, well, okay, I think you will." But remember, Clark's got the scalpel. Another split diopter. And he turns round and he goes for Mac with the scalpel, but we go. Mac shoots him. Bang! There we go. Dead. There we go. Through the head. Oh man, the dead Max has got to test them as well. Because remember, because it's a thing that every part of it is can infect. What are you up to? That bloody cat. So tell every week, innit? She comes in and scares me. What are you doing? Go on then. She's going upstairs. So this is where he has his idea. Tying everybody up. It tells Windows to tie up all the others up. Why pick Windows? I don't know. Maybe because he's the weediest of them. The one that he could control. Maybe, I don't know. And maybe he's closer to Windows. Maybe Windows is his friend more than the others. I don't know. But there we go. They're going to draw a little of everybody's blood and basically use a hot wire to see if it reacts. So they're going to test on the dead people first. Well, no, it tests the blood, obviously. It goes a bit overboard, Didn't they have any needles? They could have just, sucked a bit of blood out with a needle. No, they're using a knife and wiping it on the trousers and stuff, going a bit mental. But anyway, they do all this, and then they do Windows. I think they check Windows first. There we go. I'd have been crying. I think he checks. Well, I think he does himself first. I think, or does he do Windows first? I can't remember. We'll find out in a minute. There, it does Windows first. There you go. So we know Windows is okay because it just goes. Tss. So it tells Windows to grab the other flamethrower and watch them. He does himself. There we go. We learn that McCready's human, but Child says it's a crack of shit. Then they're going to do Pepper and Clark, and then I think we find both of those were human. There we go. Copper, he was human, and Clark was human. He says, "Guess that makes you a murderer." But no, he had a bloody scalpel in his hand. They were going to kill him. It was self-defense. It was self-defense. It is machismo. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So we're going to do Palmer next, and there we go. Palmer's looking a bit down in the dumps as though he knows what's going to happen. And then Gary says, "This is pure nonsense." And then Max says, "Well, I thought you'd say that. You know, you did have the only key to get to that blood. We'll do you last." There we go. I thought you'd feel that way, Gary. We're the only one that could have got to that blood. We'll do you last. And then you see Kurt Russell's false hand. This is a fake hand. It looks a bit fake, doesn't it? Because something's going to pop out in a minute. I see I've gone too far. And there, little bit of thing comes out as he. This is Palmer's blood, remember? So Palmer starts spazzing out in his chair. There we go. That's spazzing out, looking a bit like. I can't remember his name now. Never mind. So they're all freaking out, still tied to the chair. But Max flamethrower's jammed. I didn't know flamethrowers could jam, but it does. And it's all changing and going all gooey and horrible. And his flamethrower's not working properly. He goes up to the ceiling, does Palmer, and then drops back down in front of windows, and his head splits in two, like that. Then he grabs, tongue comes out, grabs windows, and then they do a little, hang on. Here we go. Do a little, you know, them like dancers. Yeah, Gary's line is amazing at the end of this scene. You know those dancers that it looks like there's two people dancing, but it's just actually one person that's, you know, using his arms for legs and stuff, and it looks as though they're like flipping over and stuff like that. That's a bit what this is here, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Look, that weird, like Eastern European dancing. Could have an accordion. Anyway. Then the light gets broken. Windows gets thrown into the corner. And then Mac, his flamethrower starts working again. So he burns Palmer. Palmer, there we go. And it goes out through the wall. And does he throw a stick of... Yes, he throws a stick of dynamite. Throws a stick of dynamite after him to blow him up. There we go. So Palmer's blown up. I think that was the best idea, to throw a stick of dynamite, because, you know, if every little particle of this thing is can imitate somebody, you want to leave it in one place, wouldn't you? Make sure that one place all burns up, not having bits of him flying everywhere. But never mind. Never mind. Meanwhile, Windows is starting to change now. So he picks up the other flamethrower and burns Windows, and this kind of freaks me out. There's this scene, because I know it's obviously a dummy that they're burning, but just wait legs move, it kind of freaks me out. It's like, oh, I don't like it. It's too brutal for me, for my delicate sensibilities. Yeah, so there you go. All right, so things calm down. We have a little passage of time. I presume they put out Windows. They do everybody else. Everybody else is human. Knowles and the child is human. And he starts shouting, "Get me out of here, then! Cut me loose!" And then they do Gary last, as promised. And then his line that Joshua likes is coming up. Here we go. And then Gary, this is, "I know you gentlemen have been through a lot." I can't do audio, I don't think. I don't know how to. I don't know how to get the audio back on to play it. Audio. Is it muted? Yes, it is muted. Right, we'll see if it'll play. Might do it, might not.
And when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this.
Mute it again. Hey, that's it. Best line of the film, innit? Hey, we got a Mac and Windows, and Windows wasn't working earlier on. But Yes, a Mac and Windows. Yes, very good. Very good. Very witty. And no Linux. Maybe there is. We don't know the first names. It could be a Linus, which is nearly. For all we know. Anyway, and then we have another Fade to Black, don't we? Are we going to have a Fade to Black? Yeah. Likes his Fade to Blacks in this. There's John Carpenter. Right, so they're going to go out and test Blair. Here we go. They're going to head out to Blair, and they see the doors open. Well, where is he? Where's Blair? And they see there's a hole in the floor. I think, is it this bit? Yeah. Been busy. Thought I we're going to get out of here in his, pardon me, in his spaceship, but he's been, well, not spaceship, he's been building some flying craft, I think, just to get him away from Antarctica. Probably to South America, which is the closest place, isn't it? There they are. Blair's been busy out here all by himself. Why don't you just take a helicopter? I know, not enough fuel, I suppose, but so obviously super intelligent, this alien, building himself a little flying machine. It's soon done that, hasn't it? How much time's passed? Yeah, snow speeder, yeah. Having some trouble adapting it to the cold. But how much time's passed? You know, it's rattled it off really quick, hasn't it? Because you think like only a few hours have passed. Not been like days, has it? You don't get that impression anyway. Right, so we get some shots of the inside of the base. Stuff's going on. I think see Childs. I think that's supposed to be Childs in it. Yeah, we go saw Child. So I think Child says he saw Blair. I think I don't know. Anyway, all the lights go out. Generator's been blown. They've got to go find Blair basically. Yeah, and they're gonna blow up the base. We're not getting out of here alive. That's what he says. So he throws his dynamite down, blows up Blair's spaceship and the rest of the shack. Anyway, aliens are so smart. I couldn't even build myself a bike if I could trap somewhere, let alone a flying machine. I know. Well, there you go. Total isolation of this film, with not even any greenery. Yeah, well, say it's winter, isn't it? No, there isn't any greenery in Antarctica, but you know, it was filmed in British Columbia, so. But yeah, it's what it's all about, in it, isolation and not trusting people and not having any women about. That's what it's about. I think maybe 48 hours. Oh, there we go. From start to finish, not 3 whole days. That's it. I think it's been like maximum a couple of days, hasn't it? I get that impression. Anyway, so they're blown up his shack. They have to go now and blow up the rest of the camp. So they're going from room to room with sticks of dynamite, blowing stuff up now, aren't they? There we go. Here we go. That's what they're doing there. And then they go to this underground area. Is that where the generator is? I don't know. They're doing this, blowing the shack, the base up. Haven't found Blair yet. There we go. Generator room, which is subterranean for some reason. There it was. It looks very similar, doesn't it, to the room in the Norwegian base where they found the thing, the block of ice that the thing were in. Them stairs look very familiar. Anyway, so they go down, and there were a bit of stop motion animation here, wasn't there? There still is a little bit, I think. Moment. Generator's gone, and so it's gone, McCready. They go looking around for Blair. They're going to blow it up. Tell them where to plant their dynamite. I think we see Gaddy get got. They go to the underground area. They go to blow it up. They're going to blow it up. Tell them where to plant their dynamite. I think we see Gaddy get got. They see Gaddy get got. Blair gets him, sneaks up on him. Here we go. I'm going to see it in a minute. There we go. Gets him in his face, shoves his fingers in his face, and gives it all that. So that's the end of Gary. There we go. Cool. I don't think we see what happens to Knowles, do we? There was dragging Gary off by his face. I don't think we see what happens to Knowles, do we? He just disappears, doesn't he, from the film, I think. And we just assume he gets got. And, do we hear him scream? I can't remember. But then Mac looks round, and this is where the big ball under the floorboards comes bombing after him, doesn't it? In a minute. We're ready. Here it comes. Here it comes. Come on, then. Oh, for God's sake. There we go. There it is. Oh, no, missed it. Missed it, because I'm stupid. There it is. There it comes under the floor. Done with a big, done with a big stone ball. Pulled on a tether thing. Underneath the floorboard. Cool effect. Cool effect. Then we see there we go. Bit of stop motion animation here now. Here ready. Comes up through the floor. There we go. Stop motion tentacles. There they are. Grab the detonator. Pull it down. There was supposed to be a bit more stop motion. Ow. A bit later on, but they decided not to use that. Joshua says, I hated Gary's death. Yeah, well, yeah. It was a bit underwhelming, wasn't it? It was kind of cool, stretching his skin and stuff, but could have been better. And we didn't even see what happened to Knowles. Had they run out of money? Must have done. They must have done. Oops. Right, so we can't blow it up now because the thing's got its detonator. Then the rest of it comes out through the floor. Some weird creature. We see dogs and all sorts sprouting out of it. This was supposed to be a stop motion creature, which they did film, but it didn't. For the length of time it were on screen, it didn't look realistic enough for John Carpenter, and it didn't. I've seen it. It's on the making of it. You see it and think, yeah, it don't look as good as it should. The tentacle bits got away with it because they weren't on screen very long, and it was quite simple. But here we go. We're seeing the dogs coming out. I presume he's thinking, well, if I transform into dogs, we can survive longer. Even if we freeze or whatever, I don't know. But because we got fur, I don't know. You'd think you'd be able to change into a tauntaun, wouldn't you? Survive in the ice then, wouldn't it? Or a wampa. Am I getting me franchises mixed up? This is the famous. It says FU2. No, I mean it. Oh, it made me really uncomfortable. Oh, right. I thought you meant you didn't like it. Gary's death. Well, yeah. Made him uncomfortable as well, didn't it? It was kind of, icky, wasn't it? That, I think, it's like the nails on a chalkboard, isn't it? It's one of them sort of things, isn't it? One of those, You can see people getting their heads chopped off and stuff like that, but you see somebody losing a fingernail, I'm like, ah! Yeah, dear. This is not like the polymorph in Red Dwarf. Yeah, or Polymorph 2. What is Polymorph 2? I like that one. Dwayne Dibley. That one. Anyway. So he throws it. There we go. Yeah, FU2 throws the dynamite, blows it up, and then obviously the rest of the camp blows up. But Mac's fine. He comes out. There we go. The camp's blowing up. We see Mac. There he is. We find Childs is still alive. So Mac settles down. I bet he's found a bottle of J&B somewhere. There we go. Childs is there. I think he said he'd seen Blair. And yes, you got both in Star Wars. Yes, Tauntauns and Wampas. Is that what you're on about? I think it said he'd seen Blair, so we went to see what he was doing or whatever, and he got lost in the whiteout or whatever. Not that there was one. Anyway, so they both decided they're just going to sit there and see what happens. Everybody thought I saw Blair, went out after him, got lost in the storm. He's up all over the camp, but it won't last. I don't know how long it is. It's the first week of winter, isn't it? They've got to wait till spring for the rescue team. I thought they said, because they didn't get I suppose maybe if they're out of contact for long enough, they'll send somebody, won't they? Pretty quickly, you'd think, if they're out of contact that long. Anyway, they just sit there. They're not in much shape to do anything. But we know that they're both human. Though actually, I don't know if they filmed it, but there was a scripted part where, pardon me, they were rescued because we're at the end of the film now. They're just going to wait and see what happens. They've found some J&B. So wait and see what happens, and that's how the film ends. John Carpenter's The Thing. There we go. But then there was a scripted part, but I don't know if they filmed it. I can't remember. Where the rescue team does arrive, and I think it shows them on a ship or somewhere in a medical facility, and they're being tested, and they are human, and so it's a happy ending. They were a happy ending, but John Carpenter didn't want it to be a happy ending. He wanted it to be ambiguous, so we didn't know if they were infected or not. But there we go. So that's the end of The Thing. Is A. Wilfred Brimley. All right. I think it'd be more like the Wilfred Brimley, not just A. Wilfred Brimley. Anyway, so there we go. So we'll leave that there. I'll get rid of that. And I'll make my sound big. Whee! Right, so that's it for The Thing. It's an amazing film. I usually watch these again before I do this show, but I've been super busy today, and I didn't get a chance to watch it. So I've had, it's been a while actually since I've watched it. Not like years and years and years. I think I've watched it in the last year at least. But I wasn't totally fresh, but I think I did all right. But yeah, it's an amazing film. It's a great story. Let's say great sense of isolation. I've got some praise, so we'll get that on screen. Great coverage, thanks. Nothing. What's that one? Thing ring, do your thing. Okay. Okay. Love that simple end credit song. Was it just dun 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 dun? Is that in it? Very similar to Prince of Darkness, isn't it? Very similar. This is more John Carpenter than Ennio Morricone, I think, isn't it? But anyway, I forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, great sense of isolation. That's a they don't trust each other. They were quite close. They seemed a quite close knit group at the beginning, ish. But as the film goes on, they start falling out as the Thing starts taking them over, and I don't. He hadn't quite graduated to the yet. No, I said the Wilfred Brimley. It were I don't know if it were an early film of his, but it was an early film that he was noted for, wasn't it? Because I can't remember him in anything before this. I'm sure he was in lots of stuff before this, but it became more famous afterwards, didn't he? Because he was in like Cocoon, and it was in Battle for Endor, wasn't it? Ewoks, the Battle for Endor. He was in that. But he was in Cocoon playing an old age pensioner, and he wasn't very old in that. I think he was only in his 50s when he did that. That was 1985. Where Don Amici won an Oscar. Cool film. I haven't seen that for years. Cocoon. And Cocoon the Return with the lovely Tawny Welch. Or was it Tarny Welch? I don't know, whatever. Raquel Welch's daughter. Anyway, I digress. Where were we? So yeah, it's a cool film. It's a great film. Give it a whirl. Everybody's seen it at least once. I bet more people have seen The Thing than have seen Star Wars, probably. Don't quote me on that. Apparently, it was mostly known as an extra in westerns before this. Was it? Oh, right, very good, very good. Yeah, but he is now the Wilfred Brimley. Right, Right, we'll leave it there. All right, yes, I'm going to mention the obviously a prequel came out, didn't it, in 2011, starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Joel Edgerton. How the hell did I remember those names? You know, I don't like with names, but I did. And it was all right. I didn't mind it, but it was a shame that they buggered up the effects. What's happened? I've got a piece of hair there, haven't I? Sticking out, catching the light, doing my head in. Still there. Still there. Never mind. Quaker Oats commercials, did they do them? I don't know. Not over here, they didn't. Oh, yeah, I've heard of his diabetes. I'm Wilfred Brimley. I'm going to talk to you about diabetes. Anyway, enough of Wilfred Brimley. I'm talking about the prequel, which they just called The Thing again. This has got to be known as John Carpenter's The Thing, and then the prequel was called The Thing. Should have called it Things. Anyway, which were all right. I didn't mind it, but as I said, the effects, they did practical effects, and then, you know, Studio Suits decided they were going to do away with all the amazing practical effects which they'd done and cover them up with CG, which sometimes looked okay, but mostly didn't. But never mind. But that ended on a note as well, because at the end of that, she heads off, doesn't she? Does Mary Elizabeth Winstead? She's called Kate, a character, I think. She heads off for the Russian base. So they could have done a Thing 3 on the Russian base, couldn't they? Maybe they will at some point. I don't know. Right. But we're next going to see Mary Elizabeth Winstead in Ahsoka, where she's playing the Twilight woman. I've forgotten the name. Told you I'm rubbish with names. She's playing her. Right. We will leave it there. So, hang on. I've got to get myself sorted here now. So, anyway, so thanks for watching. And wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, hang on, where are we? Got to do my outro. Until next time, I'll see you. By the way, thanks for joining in. Thanks, Joshua. Hang on, who else has been in? Joshua and Wingrace and Otakar Kubi. And we also had Deej J, haven't we, earlier on as well. So that's 4 people. I think that's a record. It's not a record, it's me talking. Yes, thanks, Otakar. Am I saying that right? I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm not. But yes, thank you for joining in. And I'm going to have to, at some point, get other people in, aren't I, to talk about the film with me. But at some point. Anyway, right, we'll leave it there. So, as I said, thanks for watching. Don't have nightmares. Until next time, I'll see thee.